Hello, welcome. We have another double interview with Michael and Amanda. I'm very happy to have both of you. They have very similar functions. They have the same exact modalities. Amanda is lead FE and Mike is lead NE. And yeah, let's get going. So I have the same thing. We all have feminine FE, and they both have, what's your NE?
Masculine.
Masculine NE. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Masculine
Okay.
here also.
All right, so let's get started. We were talking a bit about SI just before we started, but maybe we'll start with the FE, the feminine FE. So what are some of the good things you see about feminine FE and some of the bad things that are around feminine FE? Let's start maybe with Amanda because that's your lead function.
Good things. I think just being able to work with people and respond to needs, and just awareness of other people.
Like what kind of awareness? Are you like really aware of them and you feel like you understand them very well?
I feel like I can get to understand them as needed. I wouldn't say that I necessarily just know what you're all about the second I see you or something, which I think maybe I've heard people say that.
Right.
But
you feel comfortable with other people?
Generally.
Yeah, that's nice. Do you feel the same thing, Michael? Or do you want to chime in?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it's about finding a rapport, a connection with that other individual. Really try, there's so many different. This is actually why I'm into type. Actually, there's so many different types of people in this world, and everyone has a unique flavor, unique spark, and to be able to connect to what makes that person special, and to relate to that person, it has like an intimate quality to me, because it's like you're really trying to tune in to what that person is all about, to what that person wants, needs, all that stuff.
I see you nodding, Amanda.
Yeah. So it's not just going in knowing, but being willing to do what it takes to get to know and understand another person and meeting them where they are.
That's really nice. And what about maybe like a negative of the fact that it's feminine? Do you feel that there's a negative fact that it's feminine, or?
No, from what I hear, it's harder to be masculine FE, or maybe not to be masculine FE, but it's less appreciated maybe.
Right.
I feel like I could chime in a bit on that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm watching everyone else's intentions and agendas, and sometimes I'm not stepping in early enough to assert, and this is where the masculine TI comes in, to assert, this is what I need, this is where I'm going. I'm kind of like I'm playing the field, kind of. I'm looking at what other people are doing and accepting it, rolling with it. But at some point, I'm wondering when I'm going to have the opportunity to kind of do what I need to do. And so there's this waiting game to a certain degree that I find. I just feel like this overly nice quality kind of kicks in of accepting this, accepting all types of things and not really stepping into what I need, because I'm so into the context of what other people are kind of looking for.
You feel that as well, Amanda?
Yeah, I think I forget until I'm then asked, if I'm asked, and then it's almost like, well, I'm not quite prepared because I wasn't going there yet, But yes, I do relate to that.
Right. And do you guys experience it as a feeling, like actual feelings?
Definitely.
What?
Your FE, do you experience, like, do you feel other people as actual feelings?
I would say so for myself.
Hmm.
It feels emotional. It feels like, but it's kind of responding to what is out there. So someone may have a mood or something like that, and there's a response. There's this visceral response to that mood. It's like being able to read a room very well, or to read individuals in a room, and
Their
being able,
feelings.
yeah, being
You
able to read
feel
their
their
feelings,
feelings?
feel their feelings. Yes, absolutely.
Same with you, Amanda?
Yeah. Yeah, I can tell. If so, it's like seeing a little switch if something changes in a person, even if they're not speaking it. And just knowing that there is something happening internally, emotionally with them in response to whatever else is happening. Maybe me, it might be just whatever is happening. And then navigating through that moment and, having to make choices about how you respond to respect that, and to keep communication open. So I wouldn't say that like I'm just constantly scanning for people's emotions. It doesn't feel
Right,
that
but
way.
but like if it's on their face, or if you see that they're feeling bad or feeling good, it'll affect you.
I can choose to let it affect me or not, depending on what the
Interesting.
relationship is
Right.
and the appropriateness of that, and how in control of my own feelings I am at the time. So if I'm really in touch with myself at the time that this happens, then I can have kind of a separate analysis of, okay, what's happening with them? Do I have a role in that or not? But I think maybe if I'm in an emotional place myself and not, or not as in touch with, where I am, then it might be more reactive, and I might be moved by that and less able to make a conscious choice about how to respond appropriately.
Do you identify with that too, Michael?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, just really being able to just to observe what other people are doing, and to be able to to respond, to kind of be able to respond appropriately, to watch what's going on, and to be able to be in sync with the response that
But can you choose to not let it affect you, like Amanda was saying, like she had that choice where she
yeah, that's a good
can accept it or
question.
not?
I can at times turn it off. I think it depends on the situation itself, really. It's very situation dependent, at least for me.
Okay. And so how do you guys how do you see it interplay with your NE, the FE, Michael?
Well, my NE is really going to be looking at the context of all the, just of everything. Just, it's sort of, I don't know. To me, it's almost like managing the data and taking in. I'm trying to think how to. It's like weaving in a lot of bits of data that are happening all the time, coming from one person or multiple people, and processing that multiplicity of data based on. All right, so I'll use SI for a second, based on things that have happened in the past, based on just knowledge of certain responses, but really just weaving them. I think there's a lot of weaving all those, weaving time-based responses.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really nicely explained. That's really interesting. And I see Amanda nodding, so go ahead, Amanda.
I don't know if that sounds very familiar. Just kind of, if there's stuff happening on, around me with people, that's definitely that play, the taking in, and kind of interpreting what's happening with everybody.
Yeah.
And taking in not just from the moment, but everything I might know about what's happened up to the moment and what people are like and likely to respond, and where we need to go next as far as, whatever's happening.
I mean,
Michael said it great.
Yeah, he did.
I feel like Annie is trying to create a context about, an interwoven context about things. And so, and really to kind of gauge it based on just not necessarily one moment or not one instant, but just the multiplicity of instants. Yeah.
And do you also see the different possibilities of reactions you can have or things you can do and how they will play out, or is that not part of it?
Partially. I mean, yeah, I could kind of, it's almost like my head is jumbled with all the possible ways maybe that it could happen. I mean, I don't know how much I'm thinking about it, but it's like
unconsciously.
Unconsciously, yeah. Like I could do X, I could do Y, Z. I mean, and it's at some point, which one do I choose? But sometimes the moment just kind of chooses it for me.
Right. That would be the lead NE there. I think Amanda might experience a bit different. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be more conscious. Maybe.
Could be.
Not first.
Right.
Interesting.
So how do you see it play with your FE? How do you see the possibilities of what your actions and things?
Yeah, even like I'm just thinking of an example from this morning. My sister is in town for just 2 days, and we haven't seen her in 6 months, and found out just a few days ago she'd be here. So we didn't really have we never really make plans when she comes anyway. But she always likes to go out to coffee, and my mom has her favorite coffee place, and and I still have the kids that I'm juggling and everybody's schedules that are in place because it's just the middle of the week. And so that kind of need to meet everybody's needs and get everybody where they want to be, and taking in all the information that's coming, because here they are at the door, let's go do something, and I'm like I guess that's kind of how I think about that, gathering all the possibilities, seeing, okay, if we go this way, we have to do this, if we go this way, this has to happen. And it's not instantaneous for me. I need to slow down and make sure I haven't missed anything, because I want to know, I want all the information. I don't want to just jump and do this and not having thought about what I'm giving up over here. So having to, I'm not being a double decider. I would assume it's not
right. That's double observer.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
To just jump to a decision, I have to make sure, okay, well, I can see what everybody else needs, but I need a minute to take it in and process to find out what I need so that I'm okay with it. Sometimes
the masculine TI coming in.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So if I'm like if I already have a direction, if I've had time, to set that TI in motion, and then it's all coming in, and now I still feel responsible for pulling this all together. But I might have an internal fight that I'm having a hard time recognizing, and knowing how to communicate that and acknowledge that without it being that struggle. I think that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting dynamic and system you explained there. That's very well explained. I saw Michael nodding a lot there. He's got a big smile. What do you got to say about this?
Yeah, yeah. It's like again, all this people pleasing, but you always have to reflect upon whether it's going to trample on your own needs, and whether you're taking good care of yourself as the events go on. And so, there's this constant battle. And also, you want to handle it with grace. You want to handle it peacefully and relatively okay. This would be very different for, I think, masculine FE, where I don't think they have to wrestle with, I mean, they probably have different types of battles to wrestle with. But for feminine FE, you want to handle it with grace.
But they can also protect their feminine TI with that masculine FE, and they could push on the tribe. Yeah,
exactly. That's right. Yeah.
I don't want to force the tribe. To
right.
That's
neither
not.
Do I.
I can't do that.
Neither do I.
I might, if I absolutely have to. I mean, as a mother, I have had to learn to know where I do need to push things. But that it does not come naturally. It took practice. It's not the go-to.
And will it come from your TI when that happens, or can? Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about your SI? Because that's supposed to be a little closer to home. Do you feel like all of this stuff is controlled and organized when you're doing it? You want to get that order because it's very masculine SI.
Oh, it's feminine SI.
It's a feminine SI. Okay, so then the order is less. It's less strict. You're more open to diverging, and
it's flexible.
Flexible.
I think, yeah, it's flexible. I feel like I use the masculine NE to make sure I can see every possibility, because the SI is movable but wants to find the right one.
Right.
So like right now, part of the reason I haven't been on the group the last couple of weeks is because it's kind of crunch time for decision making for school next year. And I want to know what all the possibilities are and how they're all going to fit together and affect each other. And of course, I would rather be able to do everything, but I have made the mistake in the past of trying to do everything, and then you just end up, it's like you can't juggle with more balls than you can juggle with. Everybody has a limit, and you're just going to drop them all if you don't start with 2 and work up to 3 and 4. If you try to start with 5, you're not going to be juggling it all. There's just
you'll drop it all. Yeah.
And I actually So I'm thinking to myself, being NE first and play first, I'm going to try to juggle 10 balls. And that is just going to, and with FE, trying to please this person, oh my gosh, it becomes a real mess.
You're setting yourself up for failure.
Setting myself up, right. Instead of doing exactly what you just said, this is actually really good to hear. This buildup of 2 balls at a time, 3 balls at a time, slow incremental buildups.
Knowing you can handle it before you go and do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've dropped many balls. That's not to say that this is what I actually do.
Right. Lessons learned. Exactly.
I know from experience what the consequences are.
Of course.
So I can see how SI then would win out over any in the middle, in the sense that that I can make a choice and slow down and work through all of those things before I choose a direction. And I feel like I end up being really slow at decision making, and I'll put ideas out, to my friends saying, well, what if we do this? What if we do that?
Because you want to let them decide.
They're like, yeah, let's do that. That sounds good. And I'm like, ah, I can't let go of all the other things, you guys.
So you like to let them decide what you're doing then?
Sometimes it ends up going that direction because okay, well, they've just made the decision, and that closes whatever other doors if I want to be with them. Otherwise, I have to choose what these people over here are doing, or
Right.
if
You're
I
any
try to go
doors.
my own path, then I'm alone, and that would be terrible.
Absolutely. Totally resonating with that.
Cool. Yeah. So so this is kind of the thing I wanted to triangulate on these things. So it's good that we have both of your perspectives from a different angle, and we're really attacking your coin, like your full coin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
One of the things I've been noticing recently is if you have a feminine extroverted decider, that means you will see the tribe as masculine. Do you feel that? Like, do you feel the tribe is not movable?
Ooh.
I relate to that.
Yes.
That is fascinating. Or at least to me, I understand that.
Okay.
You feel like you want to kind of work around what you think is an inflexible. This is all projection. It's 100% projection, but you want to kind of work around it. But usually you realize it only later on, after the fact, that they were just as flexible as you could have been, but you just didn't realize it.
Oh, that's really good.
Okay. Okay. Do you guys have any? Do you have anything that you wanna talk about your type that you're not, maybe is not clear, that the other person might be able to clarify? Like maybe, yeah, Amanda.
I had been thinking about that, and maybe we already covered it, but just thinking in terms of NE versus SE in spontaneity and comfort with chaos, and because it's not sensory chaos, but it's still that openness to juggling all those balls at the same time. So I think just for Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because, I mean, having play means, you have that extroverted observer and an extroverted decider, but I find that it's not that incredibly different. NE play versus SE play, there's going to be a lot of commonality there to a certain degree. The thing is, in my case, I will gravitate towards the abstract. I will want to abstractify things for the most part. And I kind of view things in this very interwoven way. But I mean, if you took away the interwovenness and the abstractness, it's not like it doesn't look SE-ish to some degree. They overlap to a certain degree. I just see it more in this desire to kind of get into abstract stuff, get into I mean, for me, living the NF life. I mean, getting to the meaningfulness. I don't know. I'm still trying to think of NF words. Like, I mean, there's hippie, and idealist, and all that stuff. I lean NF, but I mean, there is a lot of commonality with even SE to a certain degree. It's not that far off. Just like NI and SI are kissing cousins also to a certain degree.
Right.
But,
do you have something maybe that about your coin and your type that you think Amanda might be able to have a different perspective on that would be interesting?
Well, I mean, recently, I'll just give you. I'll give you a background. So that I was thinking for a while that I was feminine at NE, masculine SI, and recently made the switch. And I don't know how different masculine NE is for. Assuming that you are NE third, but I guess what I'm noticing is that masculine NE kind of has this real hyper focus on whatever abstract N quality they are teaching or they are interacting with. It's like they can have a tunnel vision with their N to a certain degree at the expense of everything else in life, because at the expense of the sensory. It's like the sensory can kind of go by the wayside. It's like, but that NE just really just honing in on what is abstract and really making those connections. It could be a beast. And I'm just wondering how you relate to that dichotomy from from a non-NE first way.
From a double observing way, yeah.
From a double observing, but still masculine NE, feminine SI way.
Yeah, for me, I think it's the constant kind of wrestling with my philosophy and what's guiding my choices, and knowing that if that is not, if that's not clear, if I'm not sure where the truth is, then I am going to have that tidal wave of, wait a minute, how'd I get here? This isn't meaningful. This isn't what I was looking for and or what's important to me. And yeah, so I have to have consistent time spent.
Do you feel also that you get that tunnel vision like Michael was explaining?
Oh, I think so, for sure. I mean, when I get interested in something and I jump in and lock in and like the world disappears.
I bet.
Yeah, and something comes along to slam me out of it and like, oh, yeah, life. You know? So, yeah, I mean, whether my functions are flip-flopped or not, it would be double activated masculine NE. Even
right. Very, very strong and grabs a hold of you. Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting. Lately, I put a lot of attention on the fact that I find two very interesting things going on in our OP type. There are our two saviors involved, but then there also are two double activateds. And we have the same double activateds here. I find that plays such a huge role in just the way that we interact with others and interact with the world. It's almost like a major subtype of whatever our two saviors happen to be. And yeah, I mean, I think it's great, Binyamin, that you invited the two of us, because we have the same doubly activated FENE combo.
Right.
I mean, I think I'm really trying to tap in more to what that
also double activated play. Double activated
play.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's a feminine play.
Right.
Yeah. Very
movable.
Yes. Yes.
Great. Well, that was very, very informative, and I think everyone can learn a lot from this FE and your NE. How you guys both see it like slightly differently, but very much the same. So yeah. It's really interesting for me, and yeah, thanks a lot.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Great. Have a good one.
You too.
Take care, everyone.